Know that I said that the last video was the last one of the night, and I just cannot quit making videos. It's all for you guys. You just can't say Suicide Squad isn't the hardest working Ascension strategy video producer on YouTube. It's all for you guys. Has nothing at all to do with the fact that I just love playing Ascension all of the time, and that it's suddenly become incredibly easy for me to record videos. So, now that that's out of the way, I picked up the personal wormhole, giving my opponent a chance at the Deathsworn Warrior, to which he added an Arianius Messenger. Here, I don't think the Recycler Crab pays him off very much, though it would be nice for me. I think the Wandering Ascara in itself is a better standalone card, and I think I'm going to want to have it anyway, and I'm going to hope he's just going to kind of leave the Recycler Crab for me anyway, but it's not the biggest of deals. Okay, Elder Skeptic. We're doing it. I think, Wandering Ascara too. Man, what am I going to take? The options are just endless. I'm definitely going to take the Wandering Ascara. That's going to be a late game extra turn. After I've used the Ascaras and the Skeptics and, future Mystics, I'm going to buy to build some ridiculous combination deck. The Belthar is going to be big in this game, being the one high-impact hero that has come out so far. I think he's got a decent little bit of banishing. He's got the rune advantage so far, just barely with the Ionia's Messenger. So I need to try to come back from that, and more card draw comes out. It is just really hard for me to say no to card draw cards, pretty much always in every game ever. And so pretty good chance I'm going to want that Tower Ascara. And Souls Unbound comes out. As I was about to say, I'm pretty much basically just randomly banishing monsters at this point, just any monster on the board. And that ability has been taken away from me, and that could be a game-changing kind of card to have out there. Well, it is a game-changing kind of card. Speaking of Temple Guardian, now that is a game-changing card. Seems to come up a lot in my videos. I think I'll discard the Enlightened card here. And, man, what a choice. I'm going to banish the Belthar and take that Temple Guardian. I think it by itself, I can take down a monster one at a time. In a pinch later in the game, it's an Enlightened card that I can discard to my Tower Ascara. I think it's just everything I want. See, by itself, it beats this Polaris Demon, and it eliminates both of his Makana constructs, meaning he has to draw them again. Now I'm finally going to get my first Mystic and try to settle into this long game plan, where I'm going to attempt to create some ridiculous combo between all my card draw, a little bit of banishing, taking extra turns, drawing to Temple Guardian and whatever other high-cost ridiculous heroes I'm able to add to the deck later. Prime is, I guess, a prime target for that kind of plan. Also, I cannot stop with ridiculous puns. It's just not something I can do. And if you're not laughing, I just don't understand why. So, I still don't think I'm quite ready that I have to take the extra turn yet. I want the value of having an extra card in hand, as I think, I was hoping it would create a prime for me. But since it didn't, I will be fine with this Void Avenger. Nice. Extra banishing. That is exactly what I need. And then I'll just take out this Vandal Soul, mainly so that he doesn't do it. Don't really want to draw the personal wormhole again, especially now that I have the Deathsworn Warrior that's going to cut me down to half of my starter cards. He, meanwhile, has picked up a Soul Assassin He's got a Scrap Flinger, so he's got a neat little sort of balanced kind of deck going on. And in this situation, I'm just going to go ahead and skip. In a way, skip my turn, because now there's nothing interesting I want to buy with the amount of rune I have left, but go ahead and use the Deathsworn Warrior to get rid of 2 Apprenti, so that I don't draw them again, and I'm going to try to pick up this Prime to give me a massive rune advantage, and, I already have the card draw advantage, and am doing, well enough as far as the deck thinning goes. I think the Void Avenger gives me a pretty powerful way to beat some of these little monsters, along with Temple Guardian. So I don't really have to devote a lot more resources now to beating monsters. Alright. I'm going to gamble here and banish the Ascara of Souls on the fact that I'm probably going to buy the Prime this turn. At least going to be trying to. Take out the Gromites, another card gets banished. Take the Nothing Man. And so what I was concerned about with Souls Unbound luckily has worked out okay, where I haven't had any trouble keeping. I'm going to actually go ahead and take my extra turn here. I don't need this Prodigal. I think I want to use the Nothing Man here. And I want the... So I'm just not going to be able to get the Prime this turn. And I'm not going to be able to get... Well, I could get the Elder Skeptic, or I could get a Mystic. So I think I'll get the Elder Skeptic. I should... Well, no, I need the Mystic more. I want to be able to get that Prime. I think it's going to be the card that's going to put the game away, so just go ahead and go for it. Now at this point I can actually just take a turn off from Temple Gardening. Guardianing. It doesn't involve growing vegetables. And take this Prime. And then I'm going to take a Fanatic, and not going to be greedy, just going to go ahead and end the turn and save that Soul Gem for here in a moment. So I have the Prime, the Void Avenger, the Star Child, the Temple Guardian. Those are so the higher impact cards, that I can draw with all of this card draw that I have. The Ascara, the Elder Skeptic. Basically at this point, I get to start in any card like Spider Witch, Ascara of Souls, even Elemental Adept. Like, any card I add to the deck is just sort of amplified that much more because I've got this card draw and I have so few starter cards left. And I have many ways to kind of dig through and get to my better cards. He is trying to do the same, trying to banish some of his cards to give him a chance to draw more of his high impact cards. He does go last, so it's something to keep in mind that I want to try to put this game away and try to keep an eye on, just which cards would give him a chance to really come back into this game and make sure I snipe them as much as I can. Gonna go ahead and get a Soul Gem here, and gonna banish another card. I want the Spider Witch, because I think I'm drawing well enough that I'll be able to. And now do I want Canopic Jar, Elder Skeptic? Kind of with the Elder Skeptic. I think the Elder Skeptic, because it just... Oh, and that's a nice little payoff for me. I'm going to go ahead and use the Temple Guardian here, just in case a 4 came out. It did not. Gonna go ahead and go for a Soul Gem to give me a chance at a 4-cost card, and I got there. And it's gonna be the Canopic Jar, because that's gonna pay me off with some incremental advantage. Like I said, just try and basically take away anything that would get him back in the game, and also build my incremental advantage as much as I can. Because turn after turn right now I'm winning. I'm gaining more honor than he is. I'm adding more powerful cards to my deck. So just trying to eliminate. basically, I wanted the Skeptic. That's part of the reason I wanted the Skeptic, is I just don't want him to have it. I don't want to create a situation where he takes an actual more powerful last turn than I do that could actually swing the entire game. Oh, nice. The Aura Rising event. I'm going to go ahead and pop the Fanatic here because of that. And because I feel like I'm going to be able to dig through most of my deck at this point anyway this turn. And may as well utilize the Fanatic for some extra advantage. I feel like I'll be able to fill the deck with enough stuff to draw as well. So here, I think the first thing is take out the... I want to take out the Polaris Demon to kill his Construct. Or I could go for the Tyrant. I think I do want to take... I want to, at this point, cripple him as much as I can. Because, like I said, anything I can do to keep him from coming back into the game. Prodigal seems like a card that would pay off the way this game has gone and is going to probably continue to go. Go ahead and Skeptic into some more cards. Now I can use the Wormhole to banish that Apprentice. And now I think we could work with Brazier Drone here. And I think we're wanting to clear room for a monster, which unfortunately didn't come out. So just still not a bad deal to draw two cards off Temple Guardian. But was looking for an even higher impact play. Now I'll use the Fanatic because I'm going to be able to replace it. And I want the Hedron Pyromaniac to go with my Brazier Drone that I just picked up. And I also think I'd like to take that Nook Hound, because I'm greedy like that. Mainly just because I don't want him to have it. Trying to really cut him off from all the card draw as much as I can. So I think we're, I'm in kind of overwhelmingly good shape at this point. Of basically picking up what I want and keeping him from getting things that I don't want him to have. And so I was able to leave the board with, just these three heroes that are kind of low cost, low impact. Just kind of stifling him. The Temple Guardian again, just high impact card. The more it seems to keep showing up in my videos, and I don't know if that's just kind of an aberration, but it is just has really been high impact for me lately and against me at times. So he's going to beat a Fanatic, trying to dig through. At this point, that is the part of the danger is that the Fanatic chain can certainly happen on either side. But it did not this time, so looks like we'll just start the digging through the deck here. Get to return whatever I discard to my hand. And I will start the old Fanatic chain. And I think I want to go ahead and beat a center row card, so I'll use this Temple Guardian while it's still definitely an enlightened event to draw a card. Skeptic's fine. Don't need this Apprentice. I'll go ahead and Pyromaniac. I've already used the Canopic Jar for a rune and a power, so now I get to do the neat little trick where I Brazier Drone, get it back, do it again. I think take the Crawler. That's the card that cripples him the most for what will be probably the last turn. This is the highest ratio card, so take it. And now I don't want to clear any spots for him, so I'm just going to take heavy Kill Cultist. So, barring something ridiculous, I think looks like we took control of this game and just never really gave it back. Notice I pointed out multiple times about trying to cut him off from cards. I don't know that at those points, that it was really likely that he would have come back in the game, or that the cards ever came the right way to where it would have mattered. but I've certainly seen games in the past where it did matter. I've won games and lost games in that manner, where I've either let my opponent have cards I shouldn't have let them have, or they've let me have cards that they shouldn't have let me have. So I think that's something that's a good takeaway from this game, that, to be mindful of that kind of thing. When you're winning, to press the advantage, you want to really keep in mind what kinds of cards are most likely to bring your opponent back. And, conversely, when you're losing, you're on the lookout for those types of cards. And so cards like Elder Skeptic, No Count, that kind of help with filtering through the deck, are definitely among those types of cards. I picked up, I think, the Spider Witch at one point with that in mind. I didn't want him to build some kind of Lifebound on a rush. And also that I felt like I could utilize it reasonably well, which I managed to do, even in a deck that didn't have very many Lifebound cards, because of just all the Enlightened card draw I had. So, anyways, that's something that, everything, basically that game went pretty well. Everything worked out pretty well. I remember the turn I picked up Prime because I picked up a Mystic instead of the Elder Skeptic. At some point I realized, hey, you just have to take a break from all this buying this card draw. You have to build a little bit of rune to pick up that one high impact card. And I don't know that, I didn't buy a lot of huge constructs with it or anything, but it was just a 3 rune card, and it made the deck that much more consistent. Because as you notice, I didn't really have I had 2 Mystics. This was a late game pickup, so I didn't really have that. And then I had the Prime and the Starchild. Didn't really have a lot of ways to make rune, but I didn't really need a lot of ways because I could draw the cards that I needed. So I think that's a pretty good example of just how you can banish and build a card draw kind of combo-y sort of deck in Ascension, and a good example of keeping your opponent off cards you don't want them to have. So, thanks for watching. Hopefully some of that rambling has been useful. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. And this will actually be the last video of the night. So thanks again for watching.